How often should you incorporate sprinting into your workouts? Are you curious about how often you should be sprinting in your workouts? Let's break it down to help you find the right balance for your training. The frequency of sprinting really depends on your level of experience, your goals, and the specific demands of your sport, especially in track and field and marathon training. For most athletes looking to boost their sprint speed, a good guideline is to sprint 2 to 3 times each week. It is important to allow for 48 to 70 hours of recovery between these sessions. This recovery time is essential because sprinting at high intensity puts a lot of stress on your central nervous system and muscles. Without proper rest, you risk injury and may not see the performance improvements you desire. If you are just starting out or are a younger sprinter, sticking to 2 to 3 sprint sessions each week is also advisable. Make sure to have at least 24 hours of rest between those sessions. This approach helps you build your technique and speed safely. For more advanced sprinters, or those in specific training phases, it is possible to increase sprint frequency to 5 or 6 days each week. However, this requires careful monitoring of fatigue and a personalized training plan to avoid overtraining or injury. In track and field, sprint workouts are typically short but intense. Most sprints are maximal efforts lasting less than 7 seconds, covering distances up to 70 meters. The total sprint volume per session usually ranges from 300 to 800 meters, with plenty of rest between repetitions to maintain that top speed. When considering how often to sprint, keep in mind a few key factors. First, your training phase matters. During the off-season, you may include fewer sprint sessions focused on general conditioning. In contrast, during the in-season or peak phases, you may need more frequent, high-quality sprint work. Recovery is also important. Sprinting at maximal intensity can be as taxing on your central nervous system as heavy lifting. It is best to avoid combining maximal sprints with heavy squats or deadlifts on the same day or consecutive days to prevent excessive fatigue. Remember, quality is more important than quantity when it comes to sprint workouts. Focus on maximal effort rather than the number of repetitions. A typical sprint drill may consist of 3 to 6 runs of 15 to 30 meters, concentrating on technique and speed. Finally, keep in mind that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to sprint frequency. Training should be tailored to your experience, fitness level, injury history, and specific goals. For example, a marathon runner incorporating sprinting for speed endurance might sprint less frequently and at lower volumes than a dedicated sprinter. In the context of marathon training, sprinting is often used sparingly to improve running economy and leg turnover, without compromising endurance training. Marathon runners might include sprint drills or short sprints 1 to 2 times each week during certain training phases, ensuring that they do not interfere with their high mileage or recovery needs. To sum it up, incorporating sprinting 2 to 3 times each week with adequate recovery is optimal for most athletes focused on speed development in track and field. Advanced sprinters may increase their frequency based on their training goals and phase, while marathon runners typically sprint less often as a supplementary tool. Always prioritize quality, recovery, and individual programming to maximize your training, benefits, and minimize the risk of injury.